Speaker. Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Tēnā tātou katoa. Mr Speaker, I'm pleased to take a call on the Environmental Canterbury Transition Government Arrangements Bill in the third reading. Sir, the aim of the bill is to provide governance arrangements for the Canterbury Regional Council to operate during 2016 to 2019 local authority election cycle period. Its aim also is to replace the governance arrangements that have been in place since 2010 under the Environmental Canterbury Temporary Commissioners and Improved Water Management Act 2010. It's also aimed to provide for a majority of members of the Council to be elected by the people of the Canterbury region. And fourthly, its aim is to provide for the continuation of some of the modified resource management processes that have operated under the Environment Canterbury Temporary Commissioners and Improved Water Management Act 2010 to remain available to the Council in order to further progress issues relating to the management of fresh water within Canterbury region. Sir, Labour's position is we cannot support this bill. Why? Because Labour stands for local democracy and the principles that uphold it. And so I thought, for the purpose of the House, and particularly for the members on the other side, highlight what those principles are. Local democracy, sir, where local autonomy and decision-making with communities are able to contribute to decisions about issues directly affecting local communities and for which they pay. The principle around local differences and issues that are best met by designing solutions at a local level. Principle about open and transparent processes. And a principle around local councils with the autonomy to respond to the range of different needs and priorities that exist in their communities. Sir, I listen with intent to both the Minister's contribution and the other Minister on the other side of the House as to the justification why 6 years on we are still requiring the presence of unelected officials. And I listened and I heard that back in 2010 it was the worst performing council and there was a need to change it. I also heard the Minister talk about plans, a water plan already being designed, but the zone action plans hadn't been completed. I also heard him talk about sensible transitions, sir. But when I look and when I listened, I thought, if you've designed fair enough water plans for Canterbury, that is probably the precise time where you want to transition out and leave the implementation at the local level to those who are best geared to implement those water plans. So I didn't hear enough from the Minister to justify another 3 years of unelected officials. And I want to make it very clear, I acknowledge the expertise of Dame Margaret Baisley, of Professor Peter Skelton, and of course David Cagle, that the Minister acknowledged. But at the end of the day, I too stand with the people of Canterbury to believe that they have the capability to run their own affairs. I sit here and think, why is Canterbury so special that 9 years, sir, which is what this bill is going to do, that the people of Canterbury cannot manage their own affairs? It's unacceptable to accept that rationale for why we're extending this bill. Given, like the Minister himself has said, the Commissioners have done some great work. They have put in the water plans. So there is not enough justification from what I heard the Minister say to warrant why we are continuing this arrangement for another 3 years. Sir, I want to turn the House's attention to the regulatory impact statement. And when you look at, and I may quote this, in terms of the first key risk, as noted in the statement. And the very first risk that they identify, the Ministry of Environment, is that public consultation was confined to a proposal for the preferred option of a mixed model governance structure, rather than the range of options. So there were no options that were put out for public consultation other than this model. So we have lost the opportunity to explore what arrangements the people of Canterbury themselves would have wanted to be governed under, sir. And further down in the regulatory impact statement, Another point which is made is the appointment of councillors is seen by some as an unwarranted intrusion into Canterbury's affair by central government. Sir, I didn't hear enough from the Minister to justify the appointment of yet this transitional and mixed model governance arrangement. I didn't feel that, again, 6 years on, justifies that we have to have this arrangement. I believe the people of Canterbury do have the commitment and the tools to govern themselves. It's unfair to say that water management is getting better under this particular model and that those people, both affected, are left out of the process, sir. So I stand with members from Canterbury on this side of the House who have objected from the first reading of this bill to this third reading to say it isn't democratic. It's not what the people of Canterbury either want or deserve. And it behoves me to say that yet again the rights and the interests of the good people of Canterbury have been sidelined. And sir, that is why I stand on this side of the House with Labour members to say we cannot support this bill. Thank you very much.